All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we're talking about how crypto looks like it's making a strong comeback. Okay, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at a lot of other news updates that have happened in the space since yesterday. Again, we do these live streams Monday through Friday on this channel. Just subscribe, turn on notifications. You'll find out about those whenever we go live. We're gonna answer some of your questions and a lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. Last but not least, like nothing, and I'm saying this video is designed to be financial advice, and there's lots of scammers in the comment section below. Just ignore them. Like, I'm never going to give you my phone number on YouTube, never going to ask you to invest with me, never going to DM you on a social network, try to get you to join some group, give me your seed phrase, whatever, right? Like, that's never going to happen. So we got people jumping in the chat here. We got David Stone, ENIAC, Lee, Iota, Mark, Automatic Beats, Adrian, Patrick, Chris, Russell, Brian. Welcome. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. So let's talk about crypto and the recovery that crypto looks like it's making. All right, keyword looks like. So let's just take a peek here. So, of course, we had a massive blow up over the weekend that we talked about yesterday in the live stream. What do I think one of the biggest factors in that blow up was? Basically a leverage bubble in the crypto market popping. All right, and you're seeing cascading liquidations, prices falling really, really, really rapidly. Okay, and that's a scenario, in my opinion, where, basically the fundamentals of the market haven't really changed. It's just that you've seen some of the froth get flushed out of the system, okay? And so, that to me was a buying opportunity, just me personally. I'm not telling you to buy crypto. I personally just bought more when I saw that happen because it looked like a great opportunity, because like I said, my thesis is that, we have more and more adoption every single day in this space. That's not slowing down anytime soon. I see the adoption in 2022 being big. We're gonna talk about that here in a minute. And therefore, a lot of that value and a lot of that adoption can actually accrue to the value of the cryptocurrencies themselves, particularly around hot networks like Ethereum, for example, which is what I bought more of over the weekend. So that proved to be a good move in the short term. I think I bought it at around $3,700. Now we're back in around $4,416 on Ethereum, okay? Bitcoin's back above $51,000, and it looks like we were making a strong recovery. So again, I don't do a lot of technical analysis on this channel, but there are some important things to see in this recovery, which is we are, with this is where we kind of bottomed out at this sharp downturn. We pushed up and we made a higher low, okay? And now we made a higher high, okay? And what I'm going to keep watching for is this pattern kind of continuing, basically, maybe some big picture volatility, but, continuing to establish higher lows and higher highs and ultimately make potentially new all-time highs with assets like Ethereum, maybe Bitcoin. We'll see how long. I don't know if we'll see a Bitcoin all-time high in December. We might. You might be watching this video later in December and be like, oh, Bitcoin's already at all-time high. I'm not trying to forecast short-term price predictions or anything like that. I'm just trying to look at the general trend and what, the general outlook should be, and just update you on what my own personal actions are. Definitely not advice for you, okay? So, as always, you have to think about stuff in terms of probability. This could be a fake out, you know what I mean? Like, we could go lower than that, but I think the probability is less, now that we're seeing some of this new capital flow in the space. Again, I could look at volume, I could look at all this other stuff. My goal is not to be a in-depth technical analyst on this channel, but it's to kind of just show you what my thought process is on this whole space, okay? So, because I don't personally use technical analysis to make decisions like this. I mean, I use basic TA. Like, I'm not gonna buy something that's at a fresh all-time high. That's like brand new, all type of stuff. Basic stuff, but I don't really try to use it to divine short-term price movements or actively trade. I don't do that. So, let me know what y'all thinking down in the comment section below. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Did you buy more? Did you sell? Did you panic sell? How did I get it at 3,700 and wasn't 3,900 for like a second? No, it dipped below that. It got to like 36,500 on a couple exchanges. Somebody said they took profit at 4,300 and then bought at 4,065. So one thing to know is when you look at these price charts on websites like CoinGecko, for example, like if you see like this, like it shows you this is an aggregated price, okay, and it's also not like this is just a data point that's based on like I believe the hour, right? So that's the hourly price. I'm not 100% sure how this one particular data point is calculated, if it's a mean price for that hour. I don't know if they and I don't know how they aggregate that. I don't know if they do it by minute, like if they take the price every single minute on every exchange and then calculate a mean. I'm not 100% sure. If anybody knows in the comment section below, just let me know. But this is some sort of, I don't know if it's a weighted average, whatever. It's some sort of, it's kind of an estimate. Like you can see some variance on this. Some exchanges might see like a lower price than this. Some exchanges might see a higher price than this. And that's another thing to know is like there's significant amount of price discrepancy across cryptocurrency exchanges. That's one of the reasons that arbitrage opportunities exist. Arbitrage opportunities are harder to pull off with centralized cryptocurrency exchanges, but because by the time you buy and then send another cryptocurrency exchange, then basically like the price might move on you. And that's one of the reasons that arbitraging with smart contracts on DEXs is more, not always more feasible, but it solves that problem. It creates a new set of problems that you then have to overcome and become competitive as an arbitrager, but it does make that problem easier. I mean, there's lots of answers to arbitraging on centralized exchanges. You can have accounts on both exchanges and then just keep a balance in one and then buy and sell. Like you're arbitraging with yourself, basically, in that case. But yeah, just something to think about. Somebody says I can continuously active trade. All my trades are in my algorithms. Set it and forget it. Yeah, basically. Somebody says, I love that everybody trades on fear and greed when there's real traders. Yeah, that's where real traders make their money. Yeah, definitely. Where does Etherscan get its price from? I would think that price would be gospel, right? Not necessarily. I'm not 100% sure where the Etherscan data comes from in terms of prices, but everybody essentially, like you end up using a price aggregator because you don't want to rely too much on one exchange. Like you're pulling this data from multiple exchanges and trying to get a multifaceted picture of what the current price is. What is Chainlink VRF and how does it relate to NFTs? So VRF stands for Verified Random. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but basically the whole idea is being able to generate random numbers on blockchain. So random number generation is notoriously a hard problem, and it's really hard to do with Solidity smart contracts with the EVM itself. And so that's where Chainlink comes into play. Basically, you can generate a random number, I believe it's off-chain, and then it feeds it to your smart contract, and you just pay a fee to get that. So how could that apply to NFTs? A pretty easy example is generative NFTs. That's what I can think of off the top of my head, would be basically if you want to generate a random number in the set to mint that hasn't been minted yet, then there you go. Can Ethereum be the currency of India? If India decides it is, I have a hard time thinking that's going to happen anytime soon. Okay, so let's look at a couple of things that came up when I was watching the space yesterday. So this is definitely one thing that I want to draw attention to, which is important to know for lots of reasons, okay? So OpenSea, the NFT platform, hires a new CFO, Chief Financial Officer, from Lyft, and plans an IPO. Okay, so this is interesting. So Brian Roberts says he wants to raise more funds for OpenSea's booming NFT marketplace. He also plans to make it public with an IPO. Okay, so Robert worked as head of global corporate development at Microsoft, joining Walmart. So basically, his long, impressive background. He has no prior experience in the crypto industry. Said the merging Web3 and NFT sector in particular recalls mid-90s eBay. So that was a massive opportunity if you jumped on that. So anyways, what are some implications of this? Well, first of all, OpenSea plans to just scale as fast as possible. There's now a massive race to become the market leader in the NFT marketplace. OpenSea basically already is that, and they've got work to do if they want to secure that, okay, and keep it for the long term, because we're already seeing people like Coinbase talk about launching an NFT platform, talking how it could be bigger than their crypto business. Okay, I've talked about this a lot on my channel, how basically I can see NFTs being bigger than crypto for mainstream like retail users, like everyday people like you and me, buying crypto. Because whenever I'm out in my personal life and people talk about crypto, they almost always ask me about NFTs. Not at least twice as often people ask me about NFTs than like, hey, what's DeFi or what coin should I buy? It's crazy. So that's one thing to know for sure. The other thing is, we are seeing other people like, I believe it's blockchain.com talk about building NFT platforms. Basically, people realize how that OpenSea is just making a killing and somebody wants to capture that market share. And some people with a ton of resources could pose a potential threat to dethroning OpenSea as the market leader. Okay. So they've got work to do if they want to secure that position. We see them hiring this new CFO who potentially plans to IPO. Definitely wants to raise more money, but my IPO. So what does that mean for us, who use this stuff? Well, some people have also speculated on whether OpenSea would release a token or not. And I actually got this question in the live stream yesterday, like, do I think OpenSea is going to launch a token or IPO? I hadn't seen this news story yet when this person asked me this question, so whatever answer I gave yesterday needs to be updated. So I think yesterday when that person asked me, I was thinking maybe they wouldn't launch a token and do an IPO, because that would be how would you'd be beholden to two different shareholders. Basically, you have shareholders and you have token holders. So who do you listen to? So basically, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So basically, to me, this reduces the likelihood that OpenSea would launch a token. But maybe not. I just see it that gets complicated. Like if you really have a DAO, right, and you really have shareholders, like you've got two big competing bodies. You know what I mean? But maybe they launch a token and maybe it's not for a DAO. Okay, maybe the token actually has some other utility in the OpenSea ecosystem that's not voting rights. Okay, I don't know. Just something to think about. So it'd be interesting to watch this and see what happens with the NFT space, with the marketplace space. Do we see more marketplaces? Are they as good as OpenSea? Are they better? Do they get more users? Does OpenSea plan to IPO? Maybe you buy shares in OpenSea through traditional means, or maybe they launch token, maybe not. Maybe they use it for something else besides the DAO. We'll see. Somebody says IPO is not a coin. Now, I know IPOs doesn't give you a coin, but what I'm saying is, could you IPO and also release a cryptocurrency? A lot of projects that are releasing cryptocurrencies and doing airdrops retroactive is so that they can launch a DAO token, so they can have governance. And I don't, off the top of my head, see how you're going to pull off a DAO and shareholders at the same time. Maybe I'm just thinking too small or too limited. But maybe you could use that token for something else, like I was saying, besides just governance. Do they have SEC approval for the IPO? I do not have that information in front of me. And this just says plans to take it public. I don't know that this is like, we've got this thing filed, SEC approval, like here's our IPO date. I think this is like, we just hired this person and this is like our roadmap going forward. Okay, so another thing that I saw pop up was this. So basically, Mr. from Zero Hedge. So I haven't found the official source on this, so maybe take this with a grain of salt. But it says from Burns, so CIA has established several projects on crypto. Okay. So I think what this is inferring is saying that there are projects in crypto that were basically created by the CIA. I think it's what it's saying. I don't think it's saying like they have people infiltrating other projects. I think it's saying that like some projects were just like created from scratch by the CIA to track people. So we see some guesses down in the chat here. This is funny. It says, we all tried Silk Road. Good project. So do you have any guesses as to what they are? I'm not going to sit here and guess. That wouldn't be good. Do you think it's true? Do you think it's legit? Somebody says they want to get some CIA coin. Somebody says privacy coins. Yeah, it could be. Somebody says CIA invested in the modern art market in the 60s, so probably. Yeah, wouldn't it be kind of ironic if it was literally just like called CIA coin? CIA privacy coin. So I did see a tweet come out this morning. I can't remember exactly who said it. I meant to save it into my tweets, but forgot to. Talking about how 2022 could potentially be sort of like the year for Ethereum scaling solutions, that they really take hold. Okay, and I think that seems pretty accurate. Okay, that they start to flourish. You know, my prediction at the beginning of this year was that we'd see wide layer 2 adoption. We're seeing adoption. I wouldn't call it wide yet. Okay. But I think that is a realistic thing for 2022 because of all the progress that we've made. And we've seen this stuff, you know, we've seen how much it's grown. All right. Of course, we've seen the TVL drop here. A lot of this is literally just a function of cryptocurrency prices dropping. I've talked about this a lot, but I'll just repeat it in case you're brand new. Basically, TVL is total value locked, and it's not a perfect metric, but TVL is, it's not, like, the TVL can go up simply because crypto prices go up even without any new participation. And so when you're seeing these trends, it's kind of a combination of like, you know, new participants or like net participant inflow and also crypto price appreciation multiplying those things. So, or depreciation depending on what's happening. So that's one main reason you see it go down here. Another reason when these dumps is like sometimes people want to dump cryptocurrency when prices go down, so they'll withdraw to swap. So anyways, yeah, I mean, we're seeing tons of layer 2 adoption. You know, we saw Optimism launch back in, I think it was May. Can't remember off the top of my head. And then Arbitrum launch, you know, in the summer. Like both, I'm just gonna call both these roughly in the summer. Of course, you got ZK Sync come on the scene. Lots of other app specific, you know, layer 2s that have got good adoption. And I really think I really think that we're at a point where we could make this, go a lot crazier. So I'm gonna see if I can illustrate something on my screen here. I'm gonna try this kind of ad hoc. Try to draw a graph because I think this is an important thing for y'all to understand, which is basically how technical progress happens. So, parabolas should be like one of your favorite patterns in the world because parabolas are the key to, I don't know, key to what? The key to life, the key to uncommon results, I'll put it that way. So, let me see if I can just make this work here. Let me see if I can make this work on my screen. Okay, so basically, let's see if I can my whiteboard will work. Yeah, all right, it works. So basically, think about this. Like this. Think about a graph like this. All right, let's see if I can just graph it. Okay, that's not gonna work. Let's do this. All right, so this is effort. Let's just see here. And this is like time. All right, and this happens with technological adoption. It happens when you're developing your own technical skills or whatever it is. So basically, like, and this is like the result of this is like just results. All right, and you see this like parabola happen like this. Sorry, I'm just kind of doing this ad hoc here, and so this may not be a perfect illustration, but this is kind of how technological innovation happens. This is how you develop your own technical skills. Anything where it's really slow to get started, and then much later on, like assuming you're applying the same effort, like actually this graph is not really good. Hold on a second. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to erase this. This is not correctly labeled. Let's just call this results. I had to think about a better way to conceptualize this. Okay, so basically, the whole idea is this: like the longer you put into something, like you get these outsized returns later. You see this with your investing, you compound interest. You see it with technological innovation. You see it with you finish a project. Think about this anytime you finish, like you do some big complex project. Maybe you're working on a coding project. It takes you a long time to get it started. Like let's say you had to build an app from scratch. Well, it takes you like, if let's say literally you're building it from scratch, so it might take you like a week to get the first feature done, and then like the second feature takes like 3 days, and then the next feature takes like 1 day, and the next feature, and then you finish like 3 features on the last day, and then you finish the app. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Like you have time and then results, and it's an exponential like curve upward. So that's true like in anything. Like you're going to school, you're in a semester, you're going to learn like the most at the end because you spent all this, assuming you're diligent in your studies, you spent all this time learning the basics, and then you've got that foundation, and you can build higher level concepts on top of there. And those really high value concepts, you learn a lot of them towards the end because you have this foundation that you've built up over time. So the same thing is true for technological progress, okay? So basically, like when we're seeing these layer 2 scaling solutions take off, right? It might take a really long time to just get the basic infrastructure built for a layer 2 like Arbitrum or Optimism or ZK Sync, and then to actually get it out there to like whitelist developers to build in the platforms. Those developers have to move over there. It's this same pattern, okay? But then eventually you reach this inflection point where that starts to really tick upward and can go insanely parabolic. And that's what happens to the adoption of the technology itself, assuming that it actually gets product market fit and it is sticky, right? That's when it can just go absolutely vertical. And my long-term thesis on this channel is always about, as you create technology that has real benefits that you can't get somewhere else, it has utility, that attracts people to use that, generates demand. As more people use that, and the utility of that goes up in terms of the active participants, that insofar as cryptocurrency is natively integrated into that stuff, that the value can accrue to the cryptocurrencies in an exponential way. Okay, so you see that curve taking off in terms of adoption with layer 2s. Imagine what that's going to do to the price of cryptocurrencies associated with those layer 2s, particularly where ETH is the native cryptocurrency of those environments. Okay, it's exponential on exponential. And 2022 could very strongly be a year where we see that type of thing taking hold. Okay. Layer 3. Let's get layer 2 working first. When do I think a big dump in the ETH price will be? Well, there's a couple thoughts on this, okay? So my outlook for the future is this, okay? Because of my thesis that I'm talking about here, the more, when you're creating this technology that has all these benefits, that the value can accrue to the cryptocurrencies themselves, okay? The base case for that is that we would track on a general upward trend indefinitely, really. I mean, really until we just saturate like the world. You know what I mean? That's the base case, and that would be more like a super cycle. Okay, and I say a super cycle, that means you'd have these sort of booms and busts along the way, but the general trend would be upward. Maybe you have these bear markets, but maybe they're like a month long or something like that, rather than multi-years. Okay. Now, the easiest way to invalidate that, in my opinion, would be to have some sort of massive parabolic blow off top, where you see some huge boom where, like I said, the ETH price doubles or triples within the matter of weeks. Okay, if that were to happen, then probably we'd see a massive correction and a prolonged bear market, because crypto is reflexive. Like when it goes up really fast, it goes down really fast, and it corrects hard, and usually for a long time. Okay, so that could happen. And I'm always watching out for that. Like if I saw the ETH price double or triple in a span of a matter of weeks, I'd probably start taking some shit off the table. Me personally, not financial advice for you, but that's probably what I would do. Now, that doesn't mean that we wouldn't continue to see price appreciation for a long time. What will probably happen is as you enter into that long bear market, currencies like ETH would be very undervalued relative to the trend. Okay, that's kind of like what we saw in 2019 and 2020, is ETH was incredibly undervalued relative to the adoption trend. Where it was may have very well been very overvalued. And that's what I'm talking about. In these parabolic blow-off tops, it's very overvalued for that amount of time, right? It just goes up and down really fast. So, I mean, the least likely scenarios are also that we could have some sort of black swan event that makes crypto irrelevant and therefore worthless. That's probably not going to happen. So those are the other sort of possibilities in my mind. So somebody says the ETH 2.0 launch could basically make ETH price dump like crazy. I think that is a possible scenario, and I've heard other people talk about this who I respect in the space, who say, yeah, we're probably going to have a parabolic blow off top. It's probably going to come around the ETH 2.0 date that we do the merge, because it'd be a massive buy the rumor, sell the news situation, and basically you'd have all this ETH that's currently locked up in ETH 2.0 in the beacon chain that's now liquid, and that the ETH is going to hit the marketplace and crash the market really hard. That's probably one of the most convincing possibilities that I've heard, but I don't know. We'll wait and see. Like the beauty of this is you can watch it play out in real time and then decide whenever you get there. Nobody knows the future for sure, but you have to try to predict it. And if you're going to try to predict it, you have to have multiple scenarios in your mind that could possibly happen and know what you're going to do in each of those scenarios ahead of time. All right, everybody. That's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps the videos out so that more people can learn about blockchain. And if you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step from start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. About people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. And until next time, thanks for watching.